what this does then is it says, okay, so we used to do stuff like this. We used to say in general, if y equals f of x, then y prime is just the same thing as saying, or dy dx, whatever you want to call it, is just f prime of x, right? The derivative of our function of x with respect to x. But we're going to expand that. We're going to say now, okay, so y doesn't just have to be a function of x. Y could equal f of u. Be careful with that of there. So then if we do y prime is going to be f prime of u times the derivative of u, right? So u is like hand. The derivative of f of hand is f prime of hand times the derivative of what's inside, which is u prime, right? So we can use this approach for all of those standard, I'm not going to go through them all, but for example, if we had something like, let's say we had f of x equals tangent x. Well then that just means that f prime of x equals what? Secant squared x, right? So now what do we make that instead? We can be much more general. If f of x equals, or f of u I should say, equals tangent of u, and what is u meant to represent here? Another function of x, right? Okay. So if f of u equals tangent u, then f prime of u is what?
Secant squared.
Yeah, secant squared u times derivative of hand, right? Derivative of u. Okay, that makes sense? So that's what those represent. It's just our new chain rule empowered versions of the derivatives. Okay, one other thing I just want to mention to you. We talk about the product rule. You guys know the product rule, right? So we know that the derivative with respect to x of u times v, where u and v are just some functions of x. What is that equal to?
U times v prime plus v prime plus v times
U prime, something like that. Okay. So see if you could generalize this. What's the derivative with respect to x of u times v times w? If w is another, what do you think you do?
you treat u v.
Richard, what do you think?
You just add w into both of those, so like w u v prime, and then w v u prime, and then w prime u v.
There you go. Good. So it's going to be like u v w prime plus, we'll write it in this form, u v prime w plus u prime v w. You could transpose, or you could commute those if you wanted, but that makes sense? Okay. Just so you know, so you can, instead of having to do something wacky like, group those two together and use product rule again, you don't have to do all that stuff. You can just generalize that product rule like this. Okay? Make sense? All right. I'm assuming you guys probably could use Workday today. Is that right? Gosh, okay. I really had some cool stuff to show you. We're going to talk about circulation in the bloodstream and calculus of that. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so fun, but I'll let you work today. Mm-hmm.